are you and where are you from?
My name is Paige, and I'm from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
All right, and that's where we are. And what do you do?
Actually, I work in the financial industry and help people with all of their financial foundations for life and stuff.
Wow.
Help people learn things they never knew they needed.
All right. And were you raised here?
Yes, I was.
So you went through Katrina?
I did.
And this place was, I guess, wiped out by Katrina.
Yes, it was.
Has the climate changed much since you were a kid?
So I feel like it. And whether that's my impression of it because I am now much older and it affects me verily. As a child, I don't remember it being this hot. Now, again, that just could be because I am now older and therefore more, whiny about it.
And then no change in seasons or anything like that.
I mean, here's a strange place to ask us about seasons. Sometimes we'll get cold weather when it's time to get cold weather, but most of the time it's a mild cold. And generally speaking, I mean, the heat, as you've experienced, the heat from about this year, it wasn't as bad. It didn't get as hot as quickly. Like in May, we were still experiencing some nice mornings, which is unusual. But once it does kind of tuck into its heat, it's a vast wasteland of humidity and this kind of overwhelming heat that you're feeling where you kind of takes your breath away if you're not from here. And that goes until usually probably the end of September. But again, it varies. And otherwise, we experience seasons in a weird way here. Like in the morning, it'll be warm or cold, and then it'll do the other later. So.
All right. And then what about on an everyday basis? Do you worry much about climate? Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned. Where would you put yourself?
I mean, again, I want to be clear. I don't know a whole lot about climate change. I haven't been educated about it. I hear random things, but I don't know enough to be informed. So it does not play a huge role in my world. I mean, now I do live in a hurricane impacted place. And so I am curious, as every year when we get a hurricane season, I am curious as to what role the hot weather will play in our upcoming hurricane season. And of course, I am aware of that and concerned about that. But
right, because
otherwise,
the Gulf is really heating up right now.
That's
and
terrible.
It
does.
Facilitates hurricanes.
Yes, it does.
And so you're worried about it.
I mean, I'm certainly worried about hurricanes. I don't love them. They're not my favorite, but they do what they do, and hopefully.
What's the coping method? I mean,
the thing about hurricanes, okay, so I have a really practiced concept on all natural disasters. We have the best in terms of ahead, like the warnings, right? You're not going to be as warned for a blizzard, an earthquake, or any of those other sorts of things, tornadoes. I mean, you can't know those things are coming. But we've got this whole host of people whose job it is to see them out ahead and say, oh, it's coming. And so you do this. And so we have we have advance notice at least. I can appreciate that.
And then finally, what about the future? Is it getting better or worse? And are you an optimist or a pessimist about the climate? And is there anything we can do about it?
I mean, I think the future is fantastic and lovely, and there's always hope for the future. And I hope that people that are more educated than I am are doing whatever they need to do if, in fact, climate change is an issue. I hate that I don't know enough information, but at least I'm aware of it.
And, I'm asking a couple of questions more than I told you I would, but is the town here doing anything about preparation for hurricanes? Was there a seawall erected after Katrina?
We had a few things that went on differently here. And of course, building codes changed and people were forced to build their houses differently. Of course, our flood insurance went up and things of that nature. But generally speaking, because we are not New Orleans and we weren't protected by a levee that didn't do its job at the time, that's kind of not what happened to us. So there weren't as many measures as they could put in place. I mean, they did kind of rebuild our seawall a little bit. And they had to rebuild our bridge because it wasn't still there.
Well, the bridge went out.
Yes, it did.
And I understand the roads were impassable for a while.
Yes.
Hey, thank you very much. What is this, the 2nd of August here in Mississippi and Bay St. Louis?
Yeah.
And it's over 100 degrees heat index. Hey, thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome.